Hey guys, it's Coach Billin. Sorry I'm not at school today to be with y'all. I'm at basketball again. So I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try teaching you with the video. I'm going to write on a smart board and you just hear my voice, and hopefully everything will work out as it's supposed to and we have a good Friday. Alright, so what you need is you need to have out the paper that's titled Word Equations. Alright, we're going to work on that together. I know the first two are done, but that's okay. I want to walk through them with you so that way you understand how I got to the answers that are on there. So first I want to talk about reactants and products. Reactants are things that obviously react. Alright, what side are they on? They're going to be on the right side or on the left side? What do you think? It's okay to say an answer out loud even though I'm not there. Okay, so if you said left side, you are totally correct. The reactants are always on the left side, even if they are a compound like table salt. Alright, if it's on the left side of the arrow, it can still be a reactant. It doesn't matter. This is still a reactant, table salt. Alright, because it can always break down into sodium and chlorine. Alright, now for the products. Products are going to be on the opposite side, which is going to be the right side of the arrow. Alright, it's what's going to be produced. Alright, so if we still had our NaCl, our products would be sodium and chlorine. Alright, or you can always have a product that's going to be a compound. We could have this switched and have sodium and chlorine combined to make table salt. Alright, either way, as long as it's over here on the right side, it's going to be a product. Okay, you might want to write that at the top of your paper just in case you forget. So let's look at number 1 together. I'm going to read it out loud. Just follow along as we go. Alright, number 1 says, by running electricity through water, hydrogen and oxygen are produced. So keyword is produced. It tells you what's produced. So automatically we already know what our products are, right? Alright, our products are on the right side. So we know that our products are hydrogen. And I'm going to write mine a little differently than on your paper just because of lack of space. Alright, and oxygen. Now it says running electricity through water. So these products had to come from somewhere, and they came from something that had electricity ran through it, which just happened to be water. So if we were to write this out just with words, this would be it. Alright, if you don't understand why I put electricity in this spot, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about that when I come back and I'm there in person. Let's just focus on getting the reactants on the left side and the products on the right side. Okay, this here and this here are going to be the more important things. Alright, so if we were to write this out with the symbols of the elements and the formula for a compound, you would just write out water's formula, which would be H2O, produces, alright, and it says it produces hydrogen and oxygen. So we have hydrogen and we have oxygen. Okay, don't worry about adding any subscripts or things like that. Like we have a subscript here, but there's nothing on this hydrogen. Okay, don't worry about that yet. That's dealing with balancing equations, and we'll work on that later next week. Alright, so number 1 should be done, and hopefully y'all understood that. So let's try number 2. Number 2 is a little bit more complex. Okay, alright, so it says, when magnesium is placed in sulfuric acid, it produces magnesium sulfate and hydrogen gas. So this one's a little more complex. There's a little more items involved. So I'm going to kind of stack mine just because. So we know that we have magnesium. and it is placed into acid. So if it's placed into something, that's like saying I'm going to squeeze lemon juice and place it in my water. You're going to be combining those. So we've got magnesium combined with sulfuric acid. And it produces our arrow, okay? It produces magnesium sulfate and hydrogen gas. All right, pretty long and written out, okay? Hopefully this makes sense so far. So we've got our reactants, we've got our products, everything's written out. Now let's write in our formulas and symbols. I'm going to give you a list of some of the formulas for things you may not know, like carbonic acid, or for example, magnesium sulfate. It didn't tell you that. So if we were to write out what we just had, our product would be first magnesium, all right, and then it gives you the sulfuric acid formula, which is H2SON4, all right, produces, and then we have magnesium sulfate, which is going to be MgSO4 plus hydrogen gas, all right. If hydrogen bonds with itself, it makes hydrogen gas, which is going to be a covalent compound, and its formula is H2. So that's going to be the chemical equations for number 2. So Mg plus H2SO4 is going to produce MgSO4 plus H2. All right. Now, pay close attention. I'm going to go through number 3, 4, 5, all the way through 10 and give you the formulas for some of the different things, because I know that you won't know them off the top of your head and I don't want you using your phone. All right. So, number 3, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out the number next to it and then the formula. Number 3, it says hydrogen peroxide. What does it break down to? All right, it says it breaks down into oxygen and water. So hydrogen peroxide's formula is H2O2. All right. Number 4, we know what carbon dioxide is. That's CO2. But carbonic acid is a little bit differently. Carbonic acid is, it's going to be, sorry, not C, but it's going to start H2CO3. Okay, we look down, number 5, sodium chloride, or table salt. I shouldn't even be writing this one. Is going to be NaCl. Okay, and I'm going to erase this one. And number 6, silver sulfide is going to be Ag2S. Okay, number 7 has methane and combines with oxygen and water and carbon dioxide. We should know what water is and what carbon dioxide are. All right, but methane's chemical formula is CH4. Then number 8, you've got hydroxide, which is OH. And you have hydrochloric acid, which is going to be HCl. And then we know what sodium chloride is. That was on number 5. And we know what water is. All right, let me go ahead and erase this. Okay, now we get to mercury oxide. That one is going to be, hang on one second. Mercury oxide is going to be HgO, and this is number 9. HgO. And then number 10 says when iron is put into a solution of copper sulfate, okay, copper sulfate is going to be, hang on. What is that? Okay, copper sulfate, we'll just keep it to Cu. There's two different types. CuSO4. And then if we change it to iron sulfate, it should be similar. You just should be subbing the copper for the iron. So iron sulfate is going to be FeSO4. Okay, so you should have all of the things that you need to do, or you need to be able to write out your words and write out the chemical formulas. All right, so hopefully if you didn't get that written down, you can write down some of the formulas from a buddy. When you're done, there's a chemistry crossword. Okay, it has different things that you can use to, or like different clues that you can use to be able to solve this. Some of them are a little bit tricky, but for the most part, you should be able to do just fine, especially using your notes. All right, at the top, you need to write down that it is due on Monday. So there is a chance for homework, but due Monday. If it's not finished, we'll have a lunch detention, and you can finish it there. All right. Homework deadline, if you've got, or missing assignments, anything that's not in our grade book is due December 11th. You might want to write that down, put it in a calendar. That's next Friday, due December 11th, all right? After that, we can't go back and put anything in, okay? So, well, I hope y'all have a great day. Have a good weekend. Be respectful to the sub, and I'll see you on Monday. Love you.